Welcome, everyone. We are live on Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, Telegram, YouTube, and Facebook. This is Restream part 2 of the Roman Brik CPS Family Court Corruption case. We're going to be resuming what we aired last week, and then next week, episode 50 will be our last episode until the new year, at which point we will resume on early January, I believe. But I will let Dennis update you in the housekeeping segment. So with that being said, let me read our disclaimer and then we will begin. The views expressed on this show are expressly the views of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views, beliefs, or opinions of News for Us World, its hosts, broadcasters, or affiliates. Remember, folks, always use your own discernment when viewing. We encourage our viewers to think for themselves. Welcome, everybody. This is episode 49 of Campaign for America. We're going to be resuming the Roman Brik case and the class action related therein that the lawyer that he's talking with is part of. There's also a tie-in with what Angie or Dottie, aka Dottie, is doing with some of the work we're doing in the background. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting, folks. With that being said, let me play our intro and then I'll let Dennis do some no, Dennis, did you want to do some housekeeping or do we do the intro? Let's do the intro and then housekeeping, I think. All right, here we go.
Okay. Hello there, Stephen. Are you going to give on my I'm in the dark right now.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I can fix
Hello
it in
there,
the edit.
Stephen.
I can fix
Are
it.
you going to give on my I'm in the dark right now.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I can fix
Hello
it in
there,
the edit.
Stephen.
I can fix
Are
it.
you
Sorry about that, folks. There's a feedback loop. I wasn't quite ready yet. I had to get the Telegram muted. Go ahead, Dennis. Sorry, apologies.
Yeah. Do you have like, can you put an overlay on my
It
photo?
won't let me in the live. Zoom sucks like that, but I can do it after the live and edit if that's easiest.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
turn off
because
your
I'm
camera and then it'll show your name, and then I can add the overlay from that if that works better after the fact. That'll work.
okay.
Just tap the camera icon. Yeah.
I'm looking. Hold on.
In the
Well,
app, tap the screen, and it should bring up the toolbar at the bottom.
I do. I see the toolbar, but I'm trying to figure out which is the camera.
Slide it all the way to the left, or if it's not at the bottom, try the top portion of the app. Maybe it's up there. I mean, if worst case scenario, you can just flip it around if you need to. I'm going to end up editing it after the fact anyway. So for the edit, so it won't really make much of a difference.
It won't flip over.
It's all right. Just work with it for now. We just like put the phone down or put the view away from your face if that works best, and then I can just add it after the fact. I mean, be the next best thing, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. There's
All right.
Oh, wait a
It's
minute.
technically.
I think I
Oh,
found
you
it.
got it. Okay.
I think maybe. Um, on the camera part, raise hand, rename. Okay. Well, I'm not really skilled with this, so whatever. Okay. Go ahead. Let's all go into the intro and then we'll proceed.
Okay.
In 1980, Ronald Reagan wore a white suit, a red tie, and a white shirt and addressed the nation. Hi, I am Dennis Andrew Ball, and I am running for President of the United States. I am talking to you right now because the debates that were conducted this week need to have a presidential response. The economic issues that both Barack Obama and Mitt Romney answered created in the minds of many of us unanswered questions of how do you sustain economic growth in the United States of America. In light of the decisions and the events that have happened since 2008, what do we need to do to reduce the deficit, increase job creation, maintain Social Security and Medicare, and provide the opportunity for our children and future generations not only to survive, but to thrive in a global economy? I would like to talk to you quickly on how I perceive what needs to happen. The United States of America at this time is suffering because the means of production have not equaled the ends of production that it requires in order to sustain its middle class. The United States of America must reindustrialize itself to make it possible that 23 million Americans can go back to work in industries that are productive for themselves and their families. What we are witnessing on a daily basis is the demise of the American family, the traditional American family of children, parents, and grandparents, by people in authority who have used, abused, and misused their positions to hurt our people. This must stop, and it will under my administration. The need at this moment of time is to get our organs of power in business to invest in research and development to make it possible for industry to not only survive in America, but also to thrive. My attitude is that the production capability of the United States is equal to none. Our workers are very productive if given the opportunity, but they must be protected by government that concerns themselves with their best interests. And that has been a problem for many years in this country. My attitude also is that in order for our people to get themselves in a position to care for themselves and their children, we have to evaluate at this moment in time what is important for that to happen. And I believe that it will be more of a decision on the part of the American people when they go to the voting booth to decide who they think is best qualified to do that job. I believe also that we are in a position to make decisions that will impact the course of history and to bring about positive change in the lives of our family structure. I want to say that in order to do that, the means of production will have to be a top priority to reindustrialize the middle class and to provide the support for the future generations. I want to say this, that in terms of how we go about this business, the President of the United States should be very aware of what has happened and what needs to happen. My interest at this time is to educate through my administration of candidacy for presidency to make it possible for you to learn more about me and to decide if you are better off since the election of Barack Obama and the changes that need to happen in terms of the increase in gas prices, in food prices, the mortgage forfeitures that have happened since him, and also what we will do in the future to make it possible for more people to be employed out of 23 million who are not. Consider this opportunity to communicate to your friends and your neighbors my thoughts, and I look forward to hearing from you. I need presidential electors who will vote for me through the Electoral College when I win the states in this country to become your next president. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
All right. Very good. I appreciate the intro, Stephen.
Yeah,
And
I got your video to stop. I turned off your video. I was able to do it from my end. So
yeah, I see that. That's great. Thank you. So, folks, we're making history here, folks. A lot is going on, a lot of moving parts. I am in Florida. I'm in Orlando, Florida right now. I'm making my way over to Melbourne, Florida this week as well. And I'll be there next week. And then from there, maybe making my way down to Broward County, Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, the Naval Air Station down there, the museum, Flight 19. December 5th, there was an event there memorializing the loss of 27 aviators in 1945. And also, believe it or not, George W. Bush was at the Florida Atlantic University, FAU, in Boca Raton the same day. And I guess he was doing a Q&A session with local people there at the university. I hope that I will have an opportunity to do that as well. And other opportunities through science and space museums. That's a big deal here in Florida. And we're working also on an event in Tallahassee at the Capitol regarding the rotunda there from 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, a 7 to 11 setup, and then having people on the stage communicating their stories, the victimization of families, warring against their children, stealing them to put them in foster care for money. Evidently, the federal government pays $200,000 for each child each year till they're 18. Obviously, this is a business that they have created. It's an evil business too. They damage the family. They damage the children. In my opinion, God did not give children to the state. He gave them to parents. And parents are the ones who are responsible for their children, not the state. Consequently, that's what's going on here, and that needs to stop, and it needs to change. And of course, that's easier said than done, but that should be the goal, to return children back to their parents, or even building buildings now, transition buildings for people to have their children stolen and then adopted through these state agencies as though they're processing centers. I mean, can you believe it? In America, this is what's happened. I can't believe it, and I'm angry about it. Okay, so this is what's got to change, and those places got to be changed into something else, not processing children like it's lunchtime, which T. Matthews Phillips says in today's show. So we need to do something on that side of life as well. And also been very busy, folks, creating donors for our campaign. Donors, folks, people like Mark Cuban, people like Jerry Colangelo, people like, believe it or not, Pierce Brosnan, the 007, Remington Steele actor, very interesting fellow. He's very much a family-oriented person, and I'm blessed to make contact with him. Also, Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback. Many people know that name. It's a possibility we will connect with Kurt Warner. And the good news is these people know other people. So those people can lead us to other people to donate to this, for our billboards, for our TV ads, to rally the people in every state, campaign managers, and get on the ballot in every state and make that a real,
we're getting close to
a
the
real,
hour,
a real
folks.
deal.
Thanks for joining us. Any
silly, amorphous.
Are we getting some feedback here?
Oh, sorry, I was trying to find where we were at in the live. We're on the last stream. What time code? Sorry, I didn't realize the audio was coming through because of the setup for the call line. My apologies. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. So as it relates to that issue, the donors, we would appreciate any donation, any amount. Go to the AOAANC.org website. Freedom is not free, and we're spending money here to fight for you, and to fight for your children, and to fight for the future of this country. The soul of our nation is being tested right now as to who we are as a people. And we must affirm that our rights are given to us by God, not the state, and make that stick. And appeal to our young people, and make that an important aspect of what we are doing. I've written several books about it. The most recent book was published yesterday. It's called Full Disclosure, We Are Not Alone. I am the first legitimate presidential candidate who believes we are not alone and has written about it and has evidence to prove it. That we are not alone, that we have been inhabited by creatures outside this planet and in this universe. It's a big universe out there. And I believe that they have inhabited this planet for literally thousands of years. There's documentation to prove that, petrographs, as well as artists' rendition. Plus, even in the Bible, some of the prophets talk about it. But the most convincing evidence is all of the technology that is available to us now, and it keeps coming out. This government has shown video of this. There's been witness and testimony of this. And my book talks about a lot of what is really convincing. I don't go through everything. I take the high points and I create a case. And my case is solid. And so when I am elected president, your president, I will want full disclosure from this government to show us exactly what has happened, transpired, and move it forward. I think the president of the United States should lead the way, and I'm going to do that, and I'm doing it right now. I'm not waiting for anybody. And when I am on Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, we'll talk about that. Jimmy Fallon is very interested in that subject, as is Jimmy Kimmel, both of them. And so that provides me an opportunity to communicate to the world, let alone all the other things that I have to communicate to the United States and the other folks in the world through my work as a scholar and an author and an organizer, a community organizer. And Barack Obama could learn something from me, let me tell you. Okay, so tonight we're going to continue on here with Matthew Phillips and his class action. I'm getting people who want to know more about him and what he has done and possibly reproduce it in their states as well to hold this government accountable, federal government, rewarding the theft of children in every state. So with that, let us proceed.
All righty. All right, here we go, folks. We're going to be resuming. You got the time code all ready for us. And we're going to resume the rest of this stream and continue from there. All right. Here we go.
To your point, people don't mention the Constitution enough, right? So when I got pulled into this trap, which it's what it is. Family court is a trap. You don't know. You think it's a normal court, but once you are inside, you cannot get out. I had so many questions. When I was practicing law in Israel, I was bringing all the beautiful cases from the great United States of America. Don't get me wrong; it's still the best country, since we still have the Constitution, First Amendment. We can talk relatively freely about that. But one of my first questions was, where's the jury trial? Where's my jury? What happened to the Sixth and Seventh Amendment, right? Any claim above $20 adjusted for inflation is $200. Like we would have a jury trial. We cannot decide on a cow that we have on a common farm, right? But when it pertains to a child, and the ridiculousness of that is that, when I make the argument, of course they gaslight you, right? They mock you. No, there's no right to a jury trial. That's not true. The right is preserved in the Constitution. It waits for us to bring it up. They have jury boxes in the Richmond County Family Court. You go into any courtroom, there's a jury box. There's a place for jurors. They just don't utilize it, and they gaslight you. They lie in your face about the fact or the allegation or this preposterous notion that jury trial are not guaranteed by the Constitution. So, Robert, to your point, judges punish litigants for bringing up the Constitution. I will not name the attorney, but one attorney that represented me, and I cycled through many until I understood that actually, as pro se, you're more likely to get better results, told me, if you keep bringing up the Constitution, I could not believe my eyes. She actually wrote it in an email. Your case, the outcome will be worse. That was one of the moments that helped me wake up to the reality of the system that we are facing. Timothy, if we may, go back to the comment that Christina made. Christina is a great, amazing fighter who fights the good fight, not in Texas, but with the Texas court. She's saying, she highlights an interesting point. She says that if I may summarize, that even fitness, right, the findings of unfitness are also corrupt. So to some extent, right, let's say the state says, you know what, we accept your argument, counsel, right? Let's move to what you say. Yeah. They will just corrupt the same, that other avenue, right? Like they do with everything. It's essentially the state is blocking, and I would expect that at some point they will block the Manel, avenue that you're trying to explore in your lawsuit. So you have a comment on that?
I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know, when was the Magna Carta? Back in what, 1215 or whenever it was? I mean, back then they understood it's really fundamentally wrong to have the government act as the fact finder. Okay, the fact finder should be the people, not the government. And the fact that we don't get a jury trial it's disgusting to me. It's a total perversion. The fact that attorneys have accepted it and will refuse to argue for jury trials, and it's funny how you mentioned Richmond County. I'm presuming they built the building a while ago, but in many new places in Arizona, in Nevada, they're building courthouses with no jury boxes. And I'm just wondering what goes through the architect's mind. Is this really a courthouse, or is it the Spanish Inquisition, or who knows what it is?
I'll tell you what goes through their minds, right? When are we getting paid? That's what goes through their minds. There were many people who are involved in the system, but it's beyond the money. Yeah, Eli Evans, retired NYPD officer, another father on the forefront of this fight and exposure of this overwhelming corruption, saying the slimy commies look at you like you had 8 heads when you mentioned the Constitution. Yeah.
I think that's spot on. I really believe the family court has become the tip of the spear for worldwide communism. That's my belief.
Yeah. So
they can make so much money. Every corporation could make more money if they eliminate the Constitution. And sadly, the family court, it seems, is on that bent. So.
Yeah. So I think, it was important, but, we're having fun here. Hopefully the audience also, we are stably, we're, above 20 viewers, and I assume that hundreds actually will watch it, but we're already over 40 minutes. So I don't know, we want to maybe continue a little more, but I think it's important. So now that we covered I'll bring the banner back with the case number so people can follow and find it. And again, we will upload, Matthew will upload on his the sites that the pages he controls, and I will upload it on my Facebook page, but people can look up the case. Let's speak a little about the wider picture of that. So, you're trying a very novel approach, right? You are taking the federal action, which people do, but you're bringing a class action. You're pivoting toward Monell, which is lack of training, and you're not suing specific judges, which are absolute. They enjoy absolute immunity that was never voted for. They invented for themselves. So we have the new rulership class of kings. So you're trying to find a way here, but fundamentally, we are facing tyranny that consistently tries to terminate any potential avenues for us to to expose it, right? So let's and this is the angle that I'm taking in my my public work, my Facebook advocacy, and offline and online, because I was born in the Soviet Union, and I saw the movie. I know how it ends, and it's actually, it saddens me that you know, I consider myself an American. I love this country, but the way the things are shaping, the way the things are going, there, you know, we are just, are we okay with the new Soviet Union being built? Just for that, America fought and won the Cold War. So how do you feel as an American, you know, as an attorney? What is going on? You need a person from New York with an accent to highlight these issues?
I think the person from New York with the accent is brilliant, you know, but I gotta say, you know, on a very personal level, we grow up hearing, oh, we're so lucky to be American. I heard it for my whole life. Since I was a little kid, we're so lucky. We enjoy so many freedoms. You know, we end up, you know, watching television. Like I always love to use this example. We've all seen Cops, you know, Fox TV, you know, bad boys, what you gonna do, right? And it says, all suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, right? Then next you know, you're in family court, and they're alleging you've committed a crime, domestic violence, and you say, well, doesn't the court have to presume I'm innocent until I'm found? You know, we're told that this is a great country, that we have a constitution, and then real life comes around in the guise of family court, and it completely shatters our preconceptions. And you realize, you know, I can't tell you how many people from former Soviet Union, from, you know, Ukraine or Poland or from Cuba, and they said, I would have much more better off with my kids back in the home country. Why did I come to America? I thought America was the land of the free and the home of the slave. And well, I guess it is the land of the free and the home of the slave, you know, and we're all living on the plantation here. You know, it's really disgusting to me. And, you know, and I think this explains why the family courts are so reluctant to have court watchers. They don't want people to know about this. It seems the major media has been paid to fall asleep. They never talk about family court. Netflix has all sorts of, you know, trials about the rich and the famous suing for whatever they're suing for. They got all sorts of criminal, you know, whodunit, forensic files and stuff. When are they going to start talking about family court? They even have small claims, you know, on TV. But it's like America's dirty little secret that they just don't want to talk about. Like they just don't want to look, you know.
Yeah, not so little. You know, I made the, you know, in my estimation, and you know, I just extrapolating from public data for Richmond County Family Court. Richmond County is Staten Island, one of the 5 boroughs, the forgotten borough, not very much forgotten, you know, in terms of corruption and oppression that we're facing here. But if you trust the government population numbers, we have 500,000 people here, right? And at any given moment, there are 5,000 active cases, which means around 10,000 parents, or you know, thousands of parents essentially are actively litigated in court. If you extrapolate the numbers through New York and through New York State and through the United States, you have tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, intergenerationally affected, and yet this thing remains under wraps. Nobody talks about that. A show like ours is probably one of the, you know, few ones. Hopefully we'll do it more, we'll catch up. But this is just astounding. And I think, you know, you and I and the audience, you know, we need to address the fundamental facts of it, because family court is not, it's court in appearance only, but that's one of the prongs, tentacles, I'd like to call that, of the subversion that is done by the government, by the regime. And it's essentially, it's another avenue through which the society is taken down. You see that in school, you see it, and I'm not afraid to say, you know, these words, LGBT propaganda, right? I grew up with red flags in the Soviet Union. Now I see rainbow flags everywhere. So people are free to do what they want in their homes. But when it becomes state policy, right, state enforced policy, and when you are forced to be in front of judges who don't have children themselves, they don't understand what it means to raise a child, what it means to educate a child, to discipline a child, right? When it becomes the state, the whole might of state apparatus oppresses you, surrounds you, drags you, doesn't let you go, that's a completely different ballgame. And people need to realize that family courts is just an isolated aspect of a very large, extensive effort to break the neck of America and actually every other country. I am blessed on my page with people from all corners of the world. I have people from Bulgaria, from Romania, from Israel, the English-speaking countries, of course, Ireland, right? Scotland, UK, Australia, New Zealand. A guy from Japan joined recently. I like to bring this example because it's astonishing, but Japan is also Americanized, right, or Westernized, so no access to the children. So people need to understand, make the global connections. Would you agree with that?
I could listen to you talk all day. I agree with that sentiment 100%. Please continue.
Yeah, so I can continue, but we set the temporary limit, I would say, not to go over an hour, even though it seems that people are enjoying, we're close to 30 people actually actively watching. We're getting a lot of likes. So thanks everybody. Let me take the couple of comments here. So Glenn is saying deep state, Trump held back 34 billion from discords. Glenn, I love you, brother. We met in person. But I would say we need to start thinking beyond Trump, beyond left, beyond right, beyond conservatives, beyond Democrats. This is a global issue. It's all a show. It's a show, right? All this done is in order to dupe, gaslight, create a smokescreen for the population. We are fundamentally oppressed by the government. And so many people are being oppressed through family courts because they don't follow any constitution, any proper procedure, right? So this is the divisiveness that the government very cleverly is trying to create. And another thing that's actually, we are trained to be fair and transparent, right? But the government plays dirty. We are dealing with slimy communists in many governmental institutions, including, unfortunately, and maybe primarily, the family court. Now I'm ranting. So what do you have to add, if anything?
I would say also, I totally concur with that sentiment. I would add also that sometimes I feel like I get a little dismayed when I hear people saying, oh, it's all rigged for the women and discriminate against the men. And then, I don't think it's based on sex. I really don't think so. Although I will say in California, there is a distinctive trend where they're going after the women now. And I think that it's possible that's a conscious effort to purposely start detrimenting the females to try to, quell all the complaints about sexism against men. But then again, I don't think sexism really plays a role. I think that family court judges intuitively know which parent is more capable of putting up a fight, whether because they have more resources or because they're more educated. But the person who's more capable of putting up a fight, that's the one who's going to lose custody. And the one who's going to be more selfish, they're just going to run with the ball. And generally speaking, those are the ones that just never will let that they do the alienation. And I think the courts kind of know that, because a wise man, very wise man, once said that parental alienation doesn't just happen, it's allowed to happen. And that person, of course, is Roman Brik.
Well, thank you. You came prepared. I love it. So can we do more shows like this?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Do we have any more questions, or maybe we can do one or two more? Trying to see.
Yeah. So I want to acknowledge again, the audience, because we would be nowhere without people who are watching, and some of us actually are forced to be more active because nothing else works. And again, we're not, at least I myself, and I know you, Matthew, as well. We're not advocating for anything that's illegal or endorsing violence in any sense, but we have to fully utilize the First Amendment, because that's probably the only amendment that actually stands, right? With the Sixth Amendment, the Seventh Amendment, where are the jury trials that were guaranteed by the Constitution? So we need to take it to the maximum possible, unless, and if you don't do that, that will wither and die like everything else. So Tracy is saying only by having unity we will conquer. I have to confess as well, I came as an alienated father, as a targeted parent, and I also saw it as a sex-based issue. But the reality is that government doesn't care whom to oppress, and that's their specialty. That's what they did for thousands of years in different variants and permutations, right? Because divide and conquer, and now they came to the most fundamental divide between men and women. So to some extent, I would agree with you respectfully that the pendulum is swinging, right? We see more and more women actually being affected, right? But it's only done in order to, again, to not let us unite and show the real face behind it, which is the face of tyranny. We are facing just another cycle of tyranny, like our forefathers, like our predecessors. And I think it's very clear, if we don't stop it collectively as free people, there's another world war also coming. I am from Israel, so I'm watching very closely what's going on there and what they're trying to trigger. So yes, definitely, it's not only men, it's also women. Some may say for plausible deniability, but it's clearly tyranny doesn't care whom to eat, whom to devour. Let's see if we have other interesting comments here. And I apologize if I cannot recognize or acknowledge everyone, but yeah, Glenn is saying yes. My latest friends are women now. To the contrary, Gerard from Canada, hey, thanks for joining. Saying misandry, hatred of men is rife in the family courts. So again, it's not a sex-based issue fundamentally. They don't care whom to eat. It's the oppression always swings. They start. I'm Jewish. I'm openly Jewish. I'm trying. It's a spiritual fight. We can talk about that. But when people talk about Holocaust and all the millions that perished, right? Tens of millions perished who were not Jews. So if tyranny takes hold, everybody will be affected and potentially dead. We see what's going on. Maybe that's another topic for us to talk. The new legislation, but the decision that was made in the appellate court here in New York about concentration quarantine camps, right? So maybe that's another topic. We had 55 minutes actually, so it flew by.
I think it's time to wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
Yes. Okay. So excellent. So thanks everybody for joining. Thank you very much, my learned friend, T. Matthew Phillips. Thank you very much for doing what you do. The complaint is on the screen. Let me put the banner again. That's the case for those who will listen and not watch. It's 223 CV 08230 in the Central District of California. Federal court. Anybody can go on Pacer and download it. It's a public document, but we'll also post it separately, each one of us. Hopefully it was interesting for folks to join. If we'll watch, of course, the comments. If people like it, we'll maybe try to do it as a somewhat permanent feature, maybe bi-weekly. Like every 2 weeks, every every week, maybe every other week. So any parting words?
I'm so excited to be working with you and rock and roll.
Thank you very much for joining. Thanks, everybody. We'll finish the live stream now. It should be posted for later viewing on Facebook and on YouTube and on your channel as well. Thank you. Have a great evening, everyone, whatever time you will watch it, and we'll try to reconnect later.
All right, folks, that was the other part of of that stream that we aired last week. Dennis, you want to go ahead and take the mic? I got to go and tend to my mother for a minute before we wrap it up. Or do you want to just wrap it up? Let me know. Unmute yourself, buddy. You're done.
Okay, very good. I think that this was a very educational opportunity. I'm very keen on listening to other people when it comes to fighting this war, which it is. We're at war, and dealing with it head on. As you know, I'm a court official in the bankruptcy court in Arizona. I have a huge case to prosecute, and I am. And I appreciate your efforts. I thought about when we first met there in Missouri over a year ago, the energy that was obvious at the table there. And now it's been proven out. We're going to have 50 episodes of the Campaign for America next Tuesday. That will be the 19th. And that's exciting to me because from the 20th of December through the 7th of January, we will have a blackout period because of the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, that kind of thing. And then we will come back and we will start with episode 1 in 2024. And so between
That would be season 2, right?
right, season 2 and continue on. I mean, I'm expecting to be on the Jimmy Kimmel show and the Jimmy Fallon show. I know God will make that happen. Very
father,
excited about that.
journalist, victim of lawless Staten Island, Richmond County Court. Please.
Sorry about that. It was auto playing on Facebook. Go ahead.
I'm very excited about going to the United Nations at the end of January. And probably we'll be making our way to Iowa because the road to the White House is through Iowa. And that was the very first capital that I visited in 2015 for the 2016 campaign. And 2023, 24 now. As we proceed here with billboards, donors, television ads, television appearances. Incidentally, this Friday I will be on the James Edwards Show that is broadcast throughout the United States and around the world. I'll be on his show at 11 o'clock this Friday. Believe today is what, the 12th, so 13th, 14th, 15th. Yeah, the 15th this Friday at 11 o'clock, his show. And we're going to get into all of these different things. And that's what's going on. I mean, more people are recognizing we have something here that they want. We have the answers that they are looking for. I know nobody else doing this campaign the way we're doing it and providing the support the way we're doing it. And we do need your support as well, people, because freedom is not free. And for myself, I'm recovering right now from a severe viral infection that has plagued the Florida, Orlando area. And this happened after Thanksgiving. And so I'm on medication right now. But the good news is I'm getting better. And I expect by the time of our next show, which will be our 50th show for season 1, it will be a good one. So I appreciate everybody's efforts, to be here today. And we do have the call-in line. Remember, people, 702-482-8620. You can call in and ask questions. I think as time goes on, you'll want to ask more questions of me personally. I'm ready for them. And I'm ready to be on that stage for the presidential debates, 35% polling. We do have a polling list of poll companies to call. And Stephen, if you want to put that up, I can email that to you, text it to you, so that the people are aware of that. We need you to call in, people, so that I may be in front of people who's ever in the Democrat or Republican aisle on the debate stage and make it clear to the American people that it is time for change, for a change that works for them and not for the plutocrats and all of the demagogues in DC. With that, thank you very much, Stephen, for your support, and we will see you next time.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys next time on episode 50 of Campaign for America, at the last episode of season 1, and we will resume with season 2 in January, folks. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. We're making history here. All right, here we go, folks.